First of all, just wanted to actually talk about your unveiling announcement
Mhm.
that they did with the painting. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Did you get to keep it?
No, I haven't got it yet, but fingers crossed I can keep it, not for myself, but I'd like to give it to my family or something. But currently the painter's still got it from what I know, and he's on holiday or something, so it might be a while before I get it. But no, it was a very cool surprise. They were talking about how they'd like to do a big media release, and you never know what that's going to be like. So I just turned up there and they didn't tell me about the painting, and I just walked up and saw it. So it was just as much of a surprise for me as it was for you guys. So it was a great experience and a very cool way to unveil my signing.
Yeah, because I guess you would have seen when players sign overseas, they get that sort of treatment and things. What's it been like for you? Yeah, going over to Europe and I guess seeing the big deal they make if you're signing.
Yeah, yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, yeah, you never think it'll be yourself. You always see, like you said, a lot of other players do it, but you often, I don't know, maybe it's a New Zealand mindset, but don't ever think that we would be the people to do that. But even though I don't feel the most comfortable doing that stuff, I think it's a very cool thing to be able to do, and I've got nothing to complain since being here. The staff and the players, everyone at Saint-Étienne so far have been amazing to me. Not only for the release, but also getting through all the medical work and stuff and just making me feel at home. So it's been a great experience so far. Very busy, but getting back into training now, which has been great. So it's relaxing a bit now.
Yeah, because when did the interest first come in?
Oh, it's going to be hard to remember exactly. Um, I think it was just after the end of the season. So just after the semi-final game. Maybe my agent knew a tiny bit earlier, but he called me from memory just as I got up to Auckland. So it was after the A-League season. And so we'd known about it for a little while, and it took a while for a lot of the details to be put in place surrounding the contract and stuff. But like I've said in a lot of other interviews, once I got the interest from them and I was able to speak to the organization there and hear what their project is that they're creating, I knew this would be exactly where I want to be, and I'm just glad it all went through.
Yeah, because you obviously had a great season and the team had a great season too. Were you expecting Like, were you thinking, oh, I might start getting some interest here? Like, yeah, were you thinking you'd be back at the Phoenix next season? Yeah, what was your sort of mindset as the season finished?
Not too sure, honestly. At the time I thought, yeah, there could be a chance with off the back of my season and also being history making for the Phoenix that could help a lot, but you just never know. I was getting interest from a lot of teams in different parts of the world, but I was always in the mindset that unless the move that really jumped out at me and it was exactly what I wanted, I wasn't going to force it. So although I really wanted to move, I wasn't going to force it, and I was completely happy um, staying at the Phoenix until that right moment came, and lucky enough it came now. So I wasn't expecting it, but also it was very nice to be able to receive that from them.
That's cool. Is Coops there now, Brenton? Or because
Just jumped on. Sorry, guys, just jumped on.
oh yeah, I was gonna say you can have a few questions, mate.
Oh, cool. Thanks, mate. Hey, yeah, Ben, I just jumped on then. You were talking about that. What made this feel like this was genuinely the right moment for you to do this right now? Yeah, well, talking to my family, they had a big input in this, but also my agent. There were a couple things which, when we're making our decision with the club, that we really wanted to focus on. I think the two main things were, firstly, was the environment was a place where they were very welcoming, and it obviously was going to be hard no matter where I went in the world, but I wanted there to be a place which I could feel as comfortable as I could be, and it'd be a team surrounding me that would be able to help that. That was the first one. And then the second one was that it was a place that I was going to be able to develop as a footballer, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing to me. And whether this is the highest peak that I hit or not, I just wanted it to be the best stepping stone I could use to be the best player I could be. And talking to the players at Saint Etienne and the player that they want me to come and how they can help me, it was just exactly what I wanted to hear. So I think this is not only a place which, like I said, the environment's perfect for me, but it's also a place which I think I'm going to be able to take a real big next step and develop as a footballer.
Yeah, and did you talk to many people around the Phoenix for some advice on or thoughts on making the move?
A few, definitely a lot of mates were important, but at the end of the day, I've done this before with previous decisions, as I've like to lean on others to help. But I think I realized at the end of the day, it was most important for me to make this decision on my own. I know what I wanted, so I got a lot of impact from others about what Saint-Étienne were like as a club because I knew about their history, which I think a lot of us do, but I just wanted to know a bit more about them. So I did get help from people, but at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure that the decision was my own and not impacted too much by anyone else.
Nice, and just tell us how the last few weeks have played out. Bit of a whirlwind, has it been? Things progressing
Yeah,
well over there.
yeah, it's been so full on. So obviously had the Nations Cup to Vanuatu, and during that stage, that was kind of like the peak of trying to organize the contracting. So having to focus on that and the contract was a lot for me. And then we were trying to organize a time for me to obviously fly over to France, and we ended up on choosing the fourth, which meant that I had 3 or 4 days to get everything sorted, not only packing wise, but be able to see my family and friends because I didn't know when I'd be able to come back. So it's been full on, and since coming here, that like I was saying before, the medical side of it, I've just been having tests straight for the last 3 4 days. So it's been full on, but I wouldn't change any of it, and thankfully it's all been sorted now, and I've signed, so I've got nothing to complain.
Nice, and you don't have to travel very far for the Olympics, which must be a bit of a bonus as well. We're getting named in that squad too. How nice is that? Considering some other clubs, obviously around the world, haven't necessarily been easy to get players released for this.
No, of course, like it's never a guarantee that obviously you need to be selected first, but also a lot of, like you said, a lot of clubs might not want you to go. So fortunately, Saint Etienne have always been on my side and really want me to be able to play and represent my country. So it's obviously something I was involved with at Tokyo last Olympics, but I wasn't able to play. So honestly, can't wait to hopefully be able to play for the Olympics and again maybe try and create history. So I'm super excited to be back in that environment again and see a lot of my mates and coaches, and I can't wait for that to begin as well.
Yeah, has the long term international availability, does that sort of make up many of the discussions you've had with the club so far?
What do you mean exactly? Sorry.
When you've been negotiating and talking to them, have you talked about, you being available for a white sort of long term
Oh, right.
board?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big thing because like I said, at the end of the day, the club is very, very important, but we all want to play for our country. And even though I didn't think it would be a deal breaker, it's something so important for me to be able to play for my country. So that was a question that I brought up very early on, was the Olympics, because that's obviously so close, and they were so for me playing for my country and for whenever there's international breaks in the future. So I think that was just on top of everything they said already, just gave me that confidence that they were exactly the team that I wanted to be involved in.
Awesome, Ben. That's all from me, mate. Thanks very much and congrats.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I just got a few more because it's pretty unusual. Like it's rare for Kiwis to play in France. Like I'm pretty sure Bill Tuiloma is the only one to have played in the league before. Have you paid attention to a lot of French football in the past? And was it a league that you thought you would end up in?
Yeah, like I like to watch a lot of football, and I have watched a bit of French football over time. But again, it probably wasn't when we're scouting areas to go to. It probably wasn't the big one on our minds. But again, it was probably just because we weren't even thinking it was a possibility. And then as I got to research a lot more about the league itself and how they're able to develop so many players, like they develop so many and push them through. Obviously, it's a top five league, but to be able to get into the best leagues in the world, I was like, if I can get straight into that with a team that's growing and got this new project with a style of play that I'd love to play in, and I think I can thrive in. I think it's a perfect scenario for me to be able to showcase myself on the biggest stage, but also hopefully if I play well to be able to use this to be able to get even higher, and who knows what can happen.
Yeah, and how's the language barrier and things like that?
Yeah, it's tough, but like I said, the staff and the players here have been amazing. They're all very good at English. I think they all learnt it during school. So even though it's a bit broken, they're all fully willing to talk to me, and I'm getting pretty good at talking broken English to people. So it's something which is definitely a challenge, but I knew that it would be difficult, and it's going to be something that I'm going to have to learn. I'm going to have to learn French, but I'm already trying my best to learn it. And although it might take a while, it's a challenge I was open to, and I'm excited to be able to learn a new language as well.
Yeah, and the Olympics isn't too far away, so how long do you actually have with the team before you have to go off to join the New Zealand team?
So I think that everyone is flying around the 14th, 15th. So I'm going to be going around that time as well. So I'll be meeting whenever everyone flies in. So I'm here for the rest of the week and weekend, and we haven't organized flights and stuff as of yet. But at the moment, I'm just focusing on getting as much training in as I can with Saint-Étienne and trying to get everything sorted here. And then later on at the end of this weekend, then I'll be able to focus on that.
Yeah, and you guys are playing France at the Olympics too, so you feel like you're really sort of going to be immersed in French football to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like last night I went out for dinner and I went to a pub and I saw the France Euros game. Obviously it was a difficult result for France, but I was surrounded by, I'd like to say, hundreds of fans there. And it's just so amazing to me that the football culture over here. And I think that's another thing that drew me to France and Saint-Etienne itself, is because the fans over here are so passionate. Um, and that's something that really excites me. So again, I'm super excited to be playing for such a massive club like Saint-Etienne, but also excited to play France as well, because I know that's going to be a massive crowd and a special occasion for me and the boys.
Yeah, and what are the golf courses like in the local area? Did you check that out before you finalized it?
I've spoken to a few of the boys. There's a few boys in the team that play golf. Unfortunately, I've been so busy with stuff I haven't been able to focus on that. But I'll make sure to try and pick an apartment that's closish to a golf course. But I hear there's a few nice ones here.